Me, I go tell you little something more white history. Say how they condemn us throughout slavery. They say we were black and very ugly. I lie them a telling of them history. Cause black is beautiful, the whole of them agree. Them come out of the mountains and mix up with seed. Here we go, my friends, in the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, black, black. It's white, white, white. But let me tell the story. Yes, it's black, black, black. It's white, white, white. But let me tell the story. May I go tell you a little truth about the black history. For the people who can hear and those who can see. We're the first to come up with anatomy. To analyze the truth about the way body. We're the first to come up with biology. To analyze the lives in the society. We're the first to come up with Egyptology. To construct the pyramids that you see. We're the first to come up with psychology. To analyze the minds in their vicinity. We're the first to come up with musicology. To put the rhythm in your soul and make it rock steady. Correction, my friends, with the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, black, black. It's white, white, white. But let me tell the story. Yes, it's black, black, black. It's white, white, white. But let me tell the story. Black and white story in my mind. Oh yeah, say we have to analyze it. Black and white story in my mind, in my mind, in my mind. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Black and white story in my mind. Oh yeah, say we have to analyze it. May I go tell you a little something about white history. Say how they condemn us throughout slavery. They say we were black and very ugly. I lie them, I tell enough of them history. Cause black is beautiful, the whole of them agree. They come out of the mountains and mix up the sea. Here we go, my friends, in the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, black, black. It's white, white, white. But let me tell the story. Yes, it's black, black, black. It's white, white, white. But let me tell the story. May I go tell you a little truth about the black history. It's to the people who can hear and those who can see. We're the first to come up with anatomy. To analyze the truth about the way body. We're the first to come up with biology. To analyze the life in our society. We're the first to come up with Egyptology. To construct the pyramids that you see. We're the first to come up with psychology. To analyze the minds in that vicinity. We're the first to come up with musicology. To put the rhythm in your soul and make it rock steady. Correction, my friends, in the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, black, black. It's white, white, white. But let me tell the story. Yes, it's black, black, black. It's white, white, white. But let me tell the story. Black and white story in my mind. Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. That was me back in the mother flipping day. Yo, brother King Simon in the building, family. Thank you for the well-deserved round of applause. Thank you for the round of applause all the time. Thank you. Respect to all of those that are showing me love. All those I will pay you later. Hey, welcome to King Simon Presents on YouTube and on Facebook. And of course, you're not going to see my face until we bring on the guest. But of course, we want to run down things happening because he's going to be coming up in the next 5 minutes, and we're going to bring him on with a well-deserved round of applause also right here on King Simon Presents, family. Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful Saturday evening. It's a Saturday evening, and once again, want to shout out some of my sponsors that are in the building. Big up to Dr. Phil Valentine, who will be with me on the 15th, but he's having this big seminar and this big webinar happening on July the 19th. That's right. So if you want any information about that webinar happening called Paradigm Shift 2030, Rise of the Metaphysical Messiahs and the Death Throes of the Satanic State, the aristocracies of evil, part 2. So Phil always got these titles. You know what it is. So big up to Phil Valentine. So, and of course, he'll be with me on July the 15th. And just want to remind everybody who else will be on with me. So on July the 12th, we have at 9 p.m., we have Priestess Heru. On Monday, July the 13th, we have Keziah Glow from WHCR, the Harlem Community Radio. On Wednesday, July the 15th, like I said, Dr. Phil Valentine will be in the building. On Friday, July the 17th, we got Professor James Smalls. And Sunday, July the 19th, we have Professor Zahalia, Women in Martial Arts and why it's important for women to study and kick some backside. It is what it is. Also, just want to remind anybody who wants to get my new book and they want to go and purchase it, it's all good. Matter of fact, you can go and order the actual copy right now. You could actually do a pre-order right now of Numerovation for Mental Stability. Price is only $40.40 and everything is included, like shipping and handling. And remember, you can pay via paypal.me/the Numerovator. That's www.paypal.me/the Numerovator. Please include your name and mailing address, your full name and made up mailing address in the PayPal note section, and it will be sent to you around in September and October. But the book will be totally finished and done in August. Got to make sure to print and everybody get it and make sure we do what it got, but it's a pre-order, so remember that. Also want to remind everybody, all the family out there, if you need some natural gynecology, beautiful ladies, please go to pedalwise.com. This is their website. That's pedalwise.com, and save 10% with the coupon code KING2020. That's my coupon code, King2020. Pedalwise, www.pedalwise.com, and make sure you show that love to those beautiful people and those beautiful women over there at pedalwise.com. Also, if you want to find out more about realty and you want to invest in realty or get a consultation about getting your own real estate or building your credit or all that on how to buy realty or how to buy a condo, how to get into an Airbnb business, call Janelle Lewis. Text Janelle Lewis at 347-866-1153. That's 347-866-1153. Also, if you want to get a Numerovation consultation with me, please text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. Remember, numbers are simple, people are complicated. And remember, numerology is applied mathematics. Learn how to apply the numbers and they will work for you. Also, if you go to Amazon and Kindle, you can get my books right now. That's Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. That's right, Amazon and Kindle. Also, Numbers Are Simple, Our Children's Health is Important. That's on Amazon and Kindle. And also, No Promotion is Bad Promotion, and All Publicity is Good Publicity. Just spell my name right. That is my promotional book on how to promote your business from a small level to another level and get it popping, like I've been doing most of my life. Professionally 25 years, but over 30 years I've been doing it, and it is what it is. Once again, we got a great person coming up right here on King Simon Present, and I just want to go to happyfilms.com and read their mission statement, because before we bring him on, we're going to read the mission statement. Now it says, our mission, the HAPI mission, is to show how local initiatives, strong communities, and creativity can start a movement that can ultimately change our energetic, economic, and democratic system. First, we must find new paths leading to common prosperity and resilience. And the HAPI film does not claim to have all the answers. However, it showcases people inventing and trying to start the movement. We hope these stories will empower you and drive your passion to effect change in your community, jobs, and neighborhood, essentially giving purpose and meaning to your actions. So that's right. Make sure you go to happyfilms.com. That's right, happyfilms.com. If you go to that film right now, if you go there, you can get your tickets. For more information, for Saturdays, July the 18th, world premiere, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, world premiere. Make sure you go to happyfilms.com. That's happyfilms.com, and you will get your front row tickets. You will get your front row tickets to this beautiful event that's about to come up. And we're waiting for Brother Taaqiy to come in. So, and if you want to order your own DVD or your own digital download, guess what? You can actually go to happyfilms.com. HAPIfilms.com and order your DVD and digital download after the premiere. Do not try to sneak on in and get it done before the premiere. Stop playing. It's not like that. After the premiere, that's when you can do your downloading. Okay, let's stop playing with it. Also, just want to remind everybody, please like, please share, please subscribe to King Simon Presents right here on YouTube. And remember, I do have a Patreon page. That's www.patreon.com. That's www.patreon.com and / King Simon Productions. And I do have a website where I put up all kinds of stuff. It's a blog / website. It's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Or you can go to King Simon. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. That's, well, not numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbersaresimple.com. That's numbersaresimple.com. Right now, we're waiting for Brother Taaqiy to come in the building, and then we're gonna put. I'm waiting for him to come backstage. But there's been a lot of stuff going on. People are caught up in what Jada and Will is doing, which is so ironic to me because one is born September 25th and one is born September the 18th. So one thing about people that are born close to each other in the zodiacs, usually they have this love-hate relationship, and which is ironic in the studies of numerology. There's number 25, which is a 7, and the number 18, which is a 9, those are usually challenge numbers for each other. So I'm not surprised at what they've gone through throughout all these years that they've been married, the ups and downs, the ins and outs, the twos and fros, the whatever they've been doing. But I know it's all about getting entangled. That's the new word for the rest of the year, entanglement. Didn't I watch that movie years ago, Entanglement? I know that was a movie called Entanglement. So Jada brought it right back to fruition. Entanglement. Will said, now, please tell us what that means, please. That was so hilarious. But that was another distraction I had to leave alone for a while. I watched it real quick and then I just kept it moving. But mathematically, energetically, I understand the numbers. I understand the sign, one being a Virgo, one being a Libra, born in the same month. And I know, like I said, due to my research and the patterns and sequences of numbers and signs, I noticed that when people are that close on the zodiac, that close to each other on the zodiac, guess what? It is what they call a love-hate relationship. And then again, the two numbers that they share as personal numbers, Jada being born on September the 18th, which is a 9, 1 plus 8 is 9, and then Will being born on the 25th of September, which is a number 7. Those are a fire number and a water number, according to the science of numerology and the elements. And of course, fire and water is always going against each other unless they have certain elements to help turn it into the steamy relationship that it has to be. That's what it's all about. And then one is air and one is earth. And remember, all the elements in the universe work together. All the elements on earth work together to serve the better purpose. But sometimes when it gets to human existence and their willpower and their madness, it just could become a big, fat, entangled mess. No pun intended. But it is what it is. Once again, please like, share, subscribe to King Simon Presents on YouTube. And remember, join me on Patreon. If you want to get those Patreon stuff, if you want to get my Patreon links, go to patreon.com / King Simon Productions. And don't forget, I'm on WordPress. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress. And then numbersaresimple.com. I see Brother Taaqiy. I'm going to be bringing him on momentarily. He just got in, so big up to him. Once again, if you want to find out more about that big premiere before I bring my brother on, let me make sure we got this information up. For more information about Saturday, July 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the world premiere of the HAPI film. Go to HAPIfilm.com. That's www.HAPIfilm.com to get your front row tickets on any and all devices. And also after the premiere, guess what? You can get a DVD and you can get a digital download. But let me read the man's bio first before I get it in and do it. And then I'm going to bring him on in a second. Oh my goodness. I am happy to have this brother. Me and him had a long conversation early this morning. But it just comes to find out when we want to talk about it. But what's so interesting just comes to find out that me and him had a similar type of walk. But let me read his bio off of the HAPIfilm.com. It says, Taaqiy Grant is the executive producer of two groundbreaking documentaries, Nubia, The Untold Story, and the Tekhen, uncovering the influence of ancient Egypt. His upcoming documentary entitled HAPI details the role of economics on the development of civilization. He says we've brought together some of the brightest minds in psychology, history, and business to explore the big picture, tying together the history of world economics development to our present social economic condition. This project isn't just about the past, it's about you and me right here, right now. Understanding is the key to making changes for the better. Support Happy and let's discover how we can make a breakthrough together. And as we welcome on stage on King Simon Presents, the one, the only brother Taaqiy in the building. Brother Taaqiy, what's up, brother?
Peace, and Black Power. How are you, King Simon? Wow, that's an introduction. I tell you that. Damn, if you ain't hyped that, I don't know what to tell you, man. I've never seen an introduction like that. Wow.
Thank you. That's what I do, brother. That's what I do.
I don't even know what to say. It's like interview over. It's like, damn. After that, what else has to be said? But thank you. It's really great.
My beloved brother, I am honored to have you on King Simon Presents. My journey is your journey. Your journey is my journey, brother. And this is definitely an honor to have you. Want to remind everybody the premiere is happening July the 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, set your clocks. If you ain't living on the Eastern side, make sure you set your clocks. It's a world premiere. So make sure you go to the HAPI to www.hapifilm.com and get your front row tickets on any and all devices. Like I said when I was interviewing Sister Felicia and Brother Seed, I said, look, I was watching it on my little Android. So I know when we did that press thing, I was watching it on Android. So it's all right on all devices. And remember, you can get a DVD and digital download after the premiere. So please make sure that's what it's all about. My brother, how you been? How's the family? What's going on with you, brother?
Everyone's doing well. Everyone's doing great in the midst of all this madness. You know, when we think of the HAPI, first thing that comes in mind is what the ancestors went through. During the period of the flood and the inundation. A big part of this film has to do with understanding ecology and mastering your ecology to improve your economy. Eco, economy, ecology, really is all in one and the same word. So when we think about where we are today, and Professor Small so masterfully says this, we have to learn what our ecology is today, whether it be in New York, DC, Philadelphia, Detroit, etc. We have to know what our ecology is to improve our financial standing, to improve our economy. And with that, one of the things that they went through in the Nile was in the midst of chaos, if you would call it, in the midst of the flood, the annual flood that brought about the great ecology, that brought about the economic giant that ancient Kemet was. They were able to take that chaos, if you will, and use that time to build.
Yes.
If you notice, the temples and the tombs and things along the Nile River were built during that period, because most people were farmers, and during the time of the flood or the inundation, they were not farming. They were building the Merkuts, they were building the pyramids, they were building the great temples and edifices during that time. And when I think of what's going on now with this virus and what's happening, I see a lot of positivity come out of it. I see a lot of growth coming out of it in the community. And it's something that we have to take, and we have to learn how to use negatives and turn those negatives into positives.
Yes, sir.
And just to kind of borrow on what the ancestors say. I just want to go back real quick for something you said a minute ago about the premiere. So I'm encouraging people, everyone I talk to, we're getting countless numbers of inquiries on the website. People asking questions about the premiere. I said, every time I talk to somebody, I said, you know what? You can watch it on any device you have. You can watch it on your telephone, your computer, your tablet, TV, etc. However, this is something that you're going to want to watch on a large screen. You're going to want to figure out a way, if you do not have a smart TV, because this is web access. If you don't have a smart TV, figure out a way how to plug your device into your television. The brother Seed from the Houthi Films, he and I worked so diligently in terms of putting this film together. and the cinematography and the sound, the music track he scored, all this work went into it to bring about a great piece of work. You're going to want to see it large, you know. If all you at work and you're just watching on your phone or wherever you're at, that's great too. But if you're at home, take this opportunity to figure out a way how to plug your telephone or your other devices into your television and make it a family night. Make sure you have your children around and other people who you feel comfortable with, invite them into your homes and your sacred spaces during this period. If you feel comfortable with them at that time, let's have watch parties.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Let's have watch parties that will encourage that will encourage discussion afterward. And in the spirit of discussion, those people who are ticket holders will have access to an exclusive after showing discussion with very key cast members, with some key cast members to discuss the film. You know what I mean? So, and other, it's not really about the film because, like we said, it's not about a film, it's about a movement.
Right.
So the HAPI movement itself, and really talking about more so our socioeconomic positions where we are today.
That's right. And, you know, once again, family, what he said, we should have a nice little party at the house. Those you can trust that ain't bringing no foolishness to the house. You know what I'm talking about. But it's keep the family in mind when you watch this documentary. Believe that. That's what he said. Because and keep the family happy. When you, that's one thing about Kemet and Egypt. It was about the dynasties. It was about the families and keeping that family together and ruling different parts of the dynasty from 1 all the way to 25 or 18 or whatever, which way we go with it. It's one. And like he said, right now you can go to the website www.hapifilm.com, get your front row tickets to any devices, but they want you to watch it in front of one of your big major devices, or hook your computer up, you know, get the line, get the wire, get everything out. You got enough time, you know what I'm saying?
Fire sticks, Roku devices, smart TVs, anything.
Yes, sir.
Just plug the HDMI cable to your laptop. Whatever works for you.
Whatever works.
You know what I mean? Whatever works for you.
You know, looking at the website and this cast that you have, and I want to go down the road of the direction of the director. Because you are a director also, and you are an executive producer or producer. But the direction, what was the mindset and the mentality that you decided to take that direction to go towards the economic development of the Happy Valley and Kemet, please?
I got to tell you, I got to be honest here. So the brother Rock, Rock Barber, Ron Barber, you know what I'm saying? Big Rock from Harlem. You know, since I guess after the Tekhen, I kind of took a little hiatus and we were kind of on a break after the other 2 films. And I was like, you know, I would see him from time to time. And he'd be like, yo, Todd, you know, let's do, you know, make another movie. And I was like, I got some other things going on right now. And I kind of had a little pause. But around 2011, the HAPI was born in terms of just initially thinking about the concept of it. And it went to Kemet during that year, right after the Arab Spring. I started trying to film some of it actually alone. And initially, it was just dealing with the relationship of the kingdoms of the Nile. And I kept seeing the brother. I'd be in parties, running to him. I'd be here, running to him. And it wasn't until 2015, we were at the Dance Africa. You know how it is in New York. We were at BAM at Dance Africa. Everybody's outside, and I run into him. He was like, yo, what's up? We started talking again. And I said, I'm working on something right now. And he said, what about a film on economics? And I was like, economics? I was like, I don't know about economy. I don't know about economics. I'm not an economist. And I was like, well, I don't know. I said, there are some things I do have in mind. And I started thinking about it. I said, damn, you know what? When you really get down to the nuts and bolts of what was going on in ancient Egypt, you get into economics. Exactly. When you really get down into the relation and the nuts and bolts of the nitty gritty of what was going on between the relationship of the kingdoms of the Nile, their relationship, by and large, was an economic relationship because they depended on each other for trade and commerce. Right. When you get down to the nuts and bolts of the wars they had, even the wars we fight today, we fight wars generally over like trade routes and things like that. You look what's going on in the South China Sea today, a lot of that is about economics, closing the South China Sea, trade routes to other countries, and just having a stranglehold on world economics. And that's what's happening. Even look at what's going on in Iran. with the Strait of Hormuz. That is, with all the oil coming through that strait, that is dealing with world economics. And all these different battles and wars that are fought throughout the history of the world, whether it's through the Delta or the Middle Nile region, had to do with an economic stranglehold. So I was like, well, damn, you know what? There's a connection here. And it wasn't maybe a day or two later, I was like, you know what? Yeah, there's a tie-in, and we can really explain economics from that perspective. Professor Smalls gave it the name, the subtitle, Role of Economics in the Development of Civilization. Because as he and I started to talk about it, he was like, yeah, we started putting together the dots. The cast was developed essentially because I started looking at the film and just key things we wanted to talk about. And, the cast expanded throughout the production. We started maybe with initially about a 12-man, when I say man, I mean men and women, wish list, because everyone we went for that we tried to ask to do interviews with, some didn't, some were busy, we couldn't get around to doing it, and some just frankly declined. So we had our initial wish list, the A list, the B list, C list, and initially I would say most of the people we tried to invite to be a part of it, overwhelmingly they said yes. And like Dr. Boyce Watkins she was one of the initial people on the list in terms of from an economic standpoint. We also wanted to tie in the giants, the elders. We wanted to bring the people who with the knowledge and information to the forefront. One of the reasons why we wanted, and just to answer, just further respond to your question.
Yes.
The direction of the cast came from really, really bridging the gap between the old and the young.
Yes.
I see a lot of what goes on today, and it's disheartening in this community where there's not a lot of respect paid to our elders.
That's right.
There's a lot of YouTube scholars. There are a lot of Google scholars. These are people who've actually walked the walk and talked the talk. And if you just sit down and you just talk to them, talk about an encyclopedia of knowledge, they'll take shit that'll blow your mind.
That's right.
And I feel blessed, honored, and privileged to be close enough to them where I could pick up the phone and ask for a favor, ask them to be a part of something, and they availed themselves at all turns. So the impetus of the film was really, really sharing with, I wouldn't say our generation, but people who are a part of us and a part of what we do, our contemporaries, some of this knowledge and wisdom that is bestowed upon us for so many years.
Right. And that's important what you just said in regards to bridging the gap between the young and the old. Because as you know, I produce a lot of events in New York, and that's what I try to do also, work with because I come from that cloth of respecting the elders. This because I always tell even the young brothers and sisters out there, you're going to be an elder one day. So if you casting disrespect on somebody else, it will come back to you and haunt you later on in life also. So you got to always be careful. So most of the people, a lot of the people I've worked with that you have, I see you got Dr. Jeffries, of course, you got Dr. Ashby, you got Dr. Watkins, you got Dr. Amalvo, you got Dr. Nobles, you got Baba Heru, you got Dr. Raketti Ahmed, you got Dr. Ross. You got it. You got Street Master Gano Grills, Professor James Smalls, you got Professor Patricia Newton. You got Infant Dishi, you got Jabari. Brother, who you don't have it.
No, there was some people we wanted to talk to that just it didn't fit with the schedule, and everything worked in a divine manner.
Yes.
Even when we're talking about the energy and the principle behind the project itself, the HAPI itself, we're dealing with a divine principle, and that's something sometimes I always got to remind myself of. You're dealing with divinity. The name itself invokes a certain amount of certain energy to it.
Yes.
So, and not only that, we have not only a cast of elders, we also have a cast of ancestors that are also speaking in the film. And that for me is a real key piece because the ancestors are speaking. They're getting an opportunity to tell their story.
Now, during the making of this, I know, that country is, go through their ups and downs, and I know you have to peel off to people and, I know you have to negotiate. There's a lot of negotiation that has to happen in order for where you have to go. Now, how is that happening? Because you're the director, you're the producer. Before you got into producing that type of films and the other films that you have, what is it that you had to do? Because that was very key that you said to something to me this morning about the connections you had to make. So please explain people about the connections you had to make it happen.
Well, you know, in just going and traveling to Egypt for the past 22 years, one of the things that for me came first and foremost was just my understanding of relationships in North Africa and in the Arab speaking countries and Arabic speaking countries, excuse me.
Right.
And, you know, I've gone through certain schools in my life to be able to identify and understand certain cultures. And one of those schools just being a part of the, you know, for those who are Nubians or those who heard of the Nubian nation,
yes,
the predecessor of that was Ansar Law community.
Yes, sir.
And being a part of the Ansar Law community, the Imam Isa,
yes,
years ago, back in late 80s, excuse me, the early 90s.
Yes, sir.
You know, that was the opening
yes.
of the way, you know, where started to learn the Arabic language, started to understand certain things. So when I started to travel into now, not just Egypt, but also the Sudan, there was a strong familiarity for me in terms of just being able to navigate, because that's the big thing, being able to navigate through this country. You know, I'm from the Bronx, but I'm over there, and I feel like I'm at home, but I feel comfortable enough to be able to get things done. And also throughout the years, I got to mention that we've been taking our group trips, group trips since 2001 to Kemet, and you know, throughout that process, relationships were formed and built throughout the years. And one of the things that was really significant in this project is people that I knew or people I know, excuse me, in Egypt for the past 20 some odd years were connected to some of the people who are responsible for handling the production crews that come into the country. And throughout this process, one of the things I realized that, you know, the world kept becoming smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And people from all the way across the other side of the world, you have people in common.
Yes.
So that helps. That helps. And one of the things that I want to share with the family is that this film taught me several things. And one of the things that stands out in the forefront is the fact that you're not poor. We're actually very wealthy. And we're wealthy because we have extended relationships with other people and understand the value of the people who are around you. Value them as people, value their time, value what they offer to you. And, you know, this film was built strongly on relationships. Relationships between myself and Sid Haru, relationship between Retune to Houthi Films, Felicia, people in Egypt, the cast members, you know, particularly Dr. Jeffries, Professor Smalls, and Fudishi, even Dr. Ashby. And the list goes on to Dr. Nobles. Some of the people I've known for years. Some of them I met through the process, but relationships were formed nonetheless. And that was something that, you know, I will always treasure. And I recommend, you know, when you meet people, you take those meetings seriously.
Right.
No matter how insignificant it may seem at the time. Treat everyone with respect, treat everyone with love, and you know, treat others like you would want them to treat you.
And you know, those that are just tuning in, just want to remind you, we have Brother Taaqiy Grant, of course, one of the executive producer and director of the HAPI film, and two other great films he has, the Tekhen, and of course, NUBIA, the one about Nubia. But this is all about July the 18th, Saturday, July the 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the world premiere happening, so make sure you go to www.hapifilm.com and get your front row tickets. Have a family affair. Get the popcorn, the organic popcorn with some moringa on it. Whatever you're going to do with it, make it happen. I put cayenne pepper on my popcorn. But just do what you got to do to make sure you're there. And like they said, after the premiere, you'll be able to get that digital download or that DVD for your collection so you can give it to your family, because it is a legacy that they're providing and showing you about our ancient legacy that can be used for today. You know, you said something key about relationship, because we came out of that community, and in the community, we had to go and meet and greet with people on the street as we taught, you know, and propagate it. So I know that was one of the biggest, those schools of life that you went through, that I went through, whether I went through Ansar, the Nation of Islam, those schools of life helped us to be able to speak the language of the people wherever we go.
Right.
He said that's what and like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, always used to say, he used to teach a class called the proper handling of the people.
Right.
And
right.
that's why you never disrespect people and burn bridges, because you never know if you got to cross that bridge again.
yeah. Yeah. And you know what's interesting about that, King? We just navigating through the now. One of the things that they always appreciated, because they have this notion in their minds how Americans see the world.
Right.
And they was like, wow, you're sitting eating with us, you're talking to us, you're trying to learn our language. You know, you're one of us, you're cool. So that was like turned around into like, hey, you know, there's some things that nobody knows about that we can show you. Let's go over here and see this and see that. And for me, it was always unraveling the myths of European mythology in terms of just some of the what they would refer to as Egyptology. And when you get down into it and you're dealing with the people who are indigenous to the now, I'm calling them the so-called Nubians, but the people who are indigenous to the now, and really get into them and really start to talk to them and spend time, you know, they will, how we say, they'll put you onto some things, you know, that, you know, Discovery or BBC will have to eat their heart out to get, because they won't even show them because they don't want cameras around. And, you know, a lot of times we were invited to some very exclusive events, you know, that it was like wow moments. But all that came from, you know, the upbringing just here in New York City. Right. You know, during that phase and that time, you know, the streets of New York were very innovative. Yes. There was a lot going on. There was a lot of there was a strong message. Yes. In the streets in terms of knowing who you were, knowing when you were. Even when I became an answer, one of the things that captivated the most, even though it was, I guess, more Islamic, if you would even say that, was the fact that you passing by there, all the prophets being black. That was something that was revolutionary for me. That was revolutionary. I was like, damn, they had the poster, you know, major prophets of the Bible. I was like, damn, you know, I got to get that. So that was like my introduction, and it was just like, hey, you know, all these cats was black, and this is what it is. You know what I mean? So that was very impressive for me, and it opened the gateway to learning about other people. Right, and that would be your mental stimulus. Right. To go to Kemet. Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, before even that, though, and I got to say, you know, I was blessed to have some very positive people around me. My stepfather, one person, and he had all the books around, like the Stolen Legacy, you know, ISIS paper, Destruction of Black Civilization. All stuff was just laying around in the house. Right. He has the Ansar publication. Stuff was just on the table. Right. So it was just a matter of time before I started picking up the books and reading them. So Destruction of Black Civilization, what caught me was the cover. Yeah. As a young teenager, the cover itself, you know, I was like, damn, this is an interesting cover. Like, what's going on in this book? You know, when I started reading it, I was like, damn, this is powerful. That then opened the door and led me to other directions. And then I became a part of the Ansar Law community and you know, a follower of Dr. York or Imam Isa. That was that progression. Right, but it started with that, because that started the curiosity. That started the quest for knowledge. That started wanting to know more and more about myself. I was like, you know what, damn. We got to find this stuff out, because obviously they're not telling me in junior high school at the time. Right. I damn sure didn't learn it in elementary school. So there's some people out here who have this knowledge. Let's go find it. And you know, that's what's important, because I've been in both communities as far as the Nation of Islam and the Ansar community, and both of them always stress seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. Always. Yes. And even in all the classes, I knew the imam, and I knew the ministers and the highfalutin ministers of because I was under Dr. Khalid, and then Imam, he was my first record. He recorded me first as a reggae artist back in the day. But but just being stressing to seek knowledge and read everything. That's what led people like me or you to do what we're doing today, or energetically connect with these elders today to really put the research in and help. And I think that's important, Taaqiy, because I know you like to be in the background a lot, and I understand, you know, there's certain you got to be to yourself, and because that's where the concentration. Sometimes you and I are up at night, early in the morning, and people don't even know. I'm doing work too. But that's just our thing. I'm writing books, you know, and but I see you online, and I'm saying, you know what? I know I could text Taaqiy. Let me text him, see if he up. And sure enough, you up with me at 3 o'clock in the morning. But that just shows your dedication, brother.
That's what I mean. This is a dedicated work. This is a very timely work, and you brought some great minds together. Especially, I see you brought brother Lord Jamal in this building from Brand Nubian, man. I mean, that's my boy. You know, I love that brother, and of course, the chief. Ayo, you got him in there, and you got Mandy Bowman and all the great. Now, the way you found these people and decided to put it all together, what was the blueprint for going down this road, and what do you think our young people will take out of it moving forward?
So, again, the blueprint was those who could actually help tell the story and help with the narrative. So what we want to do, we decided to do early on was keep the people who told the story honest to who they are. In other words, I wouldn't ask Dr. Boyce Watkins a question about ancient Kemet. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
I'm not going to ask, Dr. Jeffrey someone about, explain some economic formula. I'm just not going to do that. So we had to get people in the film who could speak to their discipline. Yeah. And we kept the questions directed at them that dealt with their speciality. And, we also looked at Dr. Boyce and always wanted someone to compliment him on the feminine side, because using just the teachings as of now, we wanted to have a complementary aspect in terms of balance, masculine and feminine. Yeah. So it was more difficult to find the compliment on the female side, but we got, I wouldn't even say lucky, we were blessed with Dr. Julianne Malveaux, who is the anchor, of the film. And she was an individual who caused a problem. And when I say problem, I mean a good problem, because Dr. Julianne Malveaux, she gave us so much in her interview. Like sometimes you interview cats for two hours, you'd be lucky you get 10 seconds from them in terms of something that you really want to use, because it depends on how the questioning go, the answering go. Right. You may not get much, but she gave us a tremendous amount of sound bites. Okay. And we had it was some difficulty in terms of laying out the timeline in the film. When Steve and I did it, it was really hard to kind of say, okay, well, what are we going to use here? Because it was so much to use from Dr. Malveaux. And a lot of people were like that in the film. They gave us a lot, and hats off to them. I love the cast. They did a tremendous job in that. So the young people, what we want them to take from it, I want young people to understand this as, and I'm gonna use Dr. Malveau's words here. HAPI is a love note to our people. When we made this film, and one of the things that I was proud of, in the sense that we didn't do this in the sense of myself or see the people who were really a part of the production crew. We all did it in terms of the family as a whole. Right. See this as your film. Yes. See this as a part of your legacy. To see this as a part of something that we accomplished as Black people, and take it and build upon it and do better, do more. You know what I'm saying? Take this as a foundational piece and say, you know what, next time out, we're gonna blow it out the out the roof. So that's what we want people to see. We want people to take that from them, especially the younger people, to say, be inspired. Not just young, but young and old. Be inspired. This film was put together, again, with love, in the sense that we wanted to inspire you. We want you to see the greatness of your past. We want you to see what you can become. We want you to understand finances, economics. Again, one of the tag notes of the film is economic empowerment through economic literacy. So a heavy part of the latter part of the film deals with just financial terminology. And again, back to your question, we want people to understand financial literacy or financial wellness. We want people to see the financial wellness through the understanding of economics. One of the things that we learned, and I learned a lot, even just making a film. And I know I consider myself a novice going into it, but I'm sure a lot of people sit where I sat in terms of not knowing much about economics. Right. Take this film, take the message, the lessons in this film as a love note, and as a gateway for you to study economics, to get more into it, to understand your community, understand again, going back to the cast, because I'm gonna quote them a lot, going back to learning your ecology. Yeah. As Professor Small says, learning the retail wholesale businesses in your ecology, up and down, whether they call 125th Street, Jamaica Avenue, Flatbush Avenue, wherever you are, LA, Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, understanding your ecology and seeing what you can do to master your world. And that is the message of HAPI. And that is what we want people to take from it, not just young, but also old.
But that's interesting what you said, because that message is very clear as far as what I've seen in the film, because I went to the screening and I've watched it on the other screening online. But a lot of us in America, a lot of the young people in America don't know that a lot of the people in Africa mimic the young people here with the music and everything else.
Yeah. That right there. What you just said is key.
Yes.
It's key because, again, understanding your ecology.
Yes.
And this is something that it breaks my heart to see where hip hop is today from where it used to be.
Yes.
That was a part of our ecology. And it was something that we used really, in a sense, initially as entertainment, but then it became more of a business model. And at one point in time, we controlled it. We determined who was going to be rappers, who weren't going to be rappers.
Yeah.
But now we have almost zero control of our art.
Yeah.
And here's an example of someone else coming in and taking control of your ecology and using that for economic purposes. We have to stop doing that. We have to stop doing that. And I grew up in the Bronx, and I was there. I remember scratching my mother's records at 4 years old, because that's what they was doing on the street.
Exactly.
They were doing that in front of the buildings. I was like, damn, let me go upstairs, put a record on the turntable, start scratching it.
Exactly.
But this is what we were, and this is who we were in terms of being innovative. And the youngsters at that time, the youth during that period, in the mid 70s, late 70s, were innovative. And we use that innovation, again, through our ecology. Rather putting cardboard on the street, breakdancing, or whatever we were doing, we used our ecology. We used things, our parents' records, because hip hop is, I like to call R&B on steroids. Even though sampling is something we just taboo now, like can't do it. But the reality is that's where the music came from. It was our music, was really soul music.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And all the beats, everything we liked was all soul music. It was all James Brown, Frankie Belly, and Mays. So it was very germane to who we are as a people. So again, using our ecology to create, using our ecology to understand our economics, and we've been doing this. So we hope HAPI gives you a message now to say, shit, this is stuff we've been doing, not just 5,000 years ago. This stuff we was doing 20 years ago, 10 years ago. So we've been doing this, but have a better understanding of what you're doing.
Right. Those that are just tuning in, please share the video. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Share it on your platform. Remember, the world premiere of this HAPI documentary is happening on July the 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you set the clock, set the date, and don't be late. Please, it's going to be good. Make sure you go to hapifilm.com. That's hapifilm.com. Get your front row ticket. But like my brother said, make it a family affair. It's a family affair. Make it a family affair. If you can't make it a family affair, then you can get it on all your devices. If you got to be at work watching it while you're working for the boss or working for the man or whatever you're doing. But this film is going to implore many of you to actually start your own business on the side.
Empower.
And that's the empowerment. Yes. And that's what's going to happen, because off of what we have learned, myself and Taaqiy, over the years, we decided to be independent, or either work in what we love or be independent on the side for our own business, because we learned and we went through these schools. This film is an educational tool that will enhance the mind of the young, old, and the indifferent, and how to work. Even back in the day, they used to work with their enemies. They used to trade with their enemies or people that they didn't get along with along the Nile. You had to trade. This is trade going on. People don't know the Moors and all of them people was doing the same thing. So, the messenger used to have something on his newspaper back in the day where Africa was stretching forth his hands to America. That's what needs to happen again. Now, do you see that through HAPI film, Brother Taaqiy?
Absolutely. It's definitely something, I'm glad you asked that question, because it leads to the fact that, we want to emphasize that although the film has a comedic name, the film is not exclusively about ancient Egypt.
Right.
The comedic part, or the part dealing with the now, is only about a third of the film. The film was over 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours long. And the part about the now just is I wouldn't say the middle segment, but that's where we really get into Nile Valley civilization. But as we transition out of the now, we go into a period where we talk about the emergence of the great West African civilizations that came from people leaving the Nile Valley and developing civilizations in like the Dogon and Mali, Songhai, Ghana, civilizations across the west coast of Africa. And that period there is really significant because we had to go to Ghana. The same process that we went to film in Kemet was done in Ghana as well. And through that process, again, relationships had to be formulated to execute the project. And there are a lot of Ghanaians, particularly in Accra, that are looking for cross-Atlantic, if you will, alliances where we can formulate businesses and build industries there.
And that's what I like. I see what Akon is trying to do, build his own city, you know what I'm saying? But the problem I have is with brother Akon. I respect what he's doing, trying to solarize Africa, but he's using China. And we already know China has been infiltrating, and they've been into the Caribbean. And so this film is going to remind us that we need to do it also, because there's enough of us to do it, and we have enough money that we're spending amongst us. We're spending over trillions of dollars yearly.
Right. You know, and listen, I'd be remiss. Yes. And sometimes, you know, when you think of just influences and people in your life and institutions, for me, you know, I was blessed because I was overwhelmed with having a lot of different positive influences. And there was a cultural center here in Queens. It was still here at African Portrait Theater.
Yes.
And Baba Watusi Branch.
Yes, sir.
Very close to him.
Yeah.
I grew up with his son, Sekou. We were good friends growing up together. And I was going to the African Portrait Theater since I was a little kid. Baba Watusi Branch was the one who started me in traveling. He helped me initially put together my travel company. And he was going back and forth to Africa probably 50 some odd years. And he's a legend. And the African Portrait Theater is also a legend in the community. And that has to be mentioned. I was going to the African Portrait Theater probably since I was about maybe 10 years old. And just being in it was cool and just hanging out and going through the different lectures and things like that. And that's actually first where I met Dr. Jeffries. And that was the gateway, because Dr. Jeffries, Professor Smalls, and Fudishi, all those other people came in through that gateway, so which the door was the African Portrait Theater. Yes. So when I think of just people and individuals who are instrumental in terms of formulating alliances with Africa, Bobby Watusi Branch was definitely one of those individuals.
But he was a great brother, man. I remember him. I remember coming into the African Portrait because I wanted to produce an event there, and he asked me a question. He said, "Brother, where do I know you from?" I was like, "Yes, Brother King Simon." He said, "Oh yes, I've heard of you, man. I heard you doing some great work out there." I said, "Yes, sir." You know, I but his place was a little small for what I wanted to do. Because when I come with it, I come with some energy. You know, I come with a lot of people, and I didn't want to overpack and stand in room and get too hot, because it can get hot in there. You remember, if you remember.
Absolutely.
So I already know. And I used to work with VP Records right up the block. So back
VP Records on Jamaica Avenue. Yeah,
I used to do the music and help with them with music and do a lot of their artistry. So and that's key, what you just said, how important it is for us to still have institutions like that Baba Watusi had. Because even the Slave Theater in Brooklyn, then it was African Poetry Theater, and in the Bronx, we had Parkside Plaza sometimes doing great things out there.
Right. First World in Harlem.
And First World in Harlem, back in that National Black Theater, whatever.
National Black Theater, you're right. Black Spectrum Theater, right.
So we had different boroughs, yes.
Right, and that's what I was speaking about earlier in terms of just the streets during that time being innovative. And we were talking earlier about some of the things that were going on in the 80s. And it was magical, particularly when you think about what we have now.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's sad, but we're keeping it together. We're going, and I see what I'm seeing now in terms of there's a lot of people being brought back into the forefront. People who may have been doing their own thing, like Dr. Newton, Dr. Jeffries, and people finding this love and respect for them. And my man Rock always calls it, give them heartbeat props. Give them their props now. You know what I'm saying? Give them their heartbeat props. Don't wait like Dr. Ben till they transition and you be like, oh, well, Dr. Ben was so great and all this other stuff. Where were you when the man was alive and kicking and doing his thing? Give them their support, give them their respect, give them their blessings. If they have the cash apps and y'all want to bless it, please by all means do that and support them by their works, because you won't be disappointed because you ain't going to find anything else like it anyplace else. When you see them online, watch their videos, it means a lot. It means a lot to them. And I see a lot of this resurgence. I see the look in their eyes, and a lot of them are really, really happy to receive this love. And we got to keep giving them that love to them. But those institutions during that era were king. They were priceless. They were the kings and queens, and the African Poetry Theaters, the slave theaters, the First Worlds, and all this. You know what I mean? It was so much. And that's only in the New York area, and I can't speak to other cities, but I'm sure in Philadelphia, Chicago, Detroit, they had those powerhouses too. You know what I mean? And I wish those are people in the chat room here now. If you shout out those institutions, those cultural institutions that we had in other cities, and it's important for the family to know all around the world those other institutions. They may not be around anymore, but we got to speak them. We got to, because those institutions had a spirit onto themselves. And even though they're not like a person, we should pour a libation for them. We should pour a libation or remember those places.
Right. And with those institutions came the martial arts institutions. That's why I'm glad you had Infundici on there, because I know, and of course, Professor Jeffries and and Professor Smalls was into martial arts deeply back in the day. And where in Queens you had Baba Watusi in the African Poetry Theater, but then you had up the block Professor Ronald Duncan, a ninjutsu master up the block teaching at the Jam Pack, the Jamaican
right.
And then you in Brooklyn you had Moses Powell, and then you had all of it was connected and working together in unison. So I miss those days, but these days now we're moving forward, and hopefully we can move forward on technology, because
absolutely. The world's changing, and as the world changed, one of the lessons and messages that came out of the now was you adapt.
Yes.
When your world changed, you change with it, and you master the new world.
Right.
We cannot get stuck in the old world and get relax on our laurels. We have to learn how to become new people during the new times. And I just want to say one thing about martial arts. And there's a brother who was a part of this process, and there was so many people, not just the elders and the production crews and people that were a part of this. There were other people that came along and helped out, like Shabazz, LIU, my man Shabazz, who was a big part of this early in the beginning. Shaka Amos. A lot of people don't know Shaka Amos was a part of this in the beginning.
Oh, get out of here.
In fact, he put together one of the earlier trailers. If you go to the YouTube page, one of, I think maybe the second trailer we came out with is still on the page. That was Shaka Amos trailer. He put that together, just being a part of this. And I would say one thing about the brother Shaka Amos. We talk about martial arts.
Yes.
He and I have a long history. We go back to that Ansar era. He was actually my martial arts teacher. I used to train with him. You know what I'm saying? I know the brother for quite a long time.
Shaka Amos?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of people don't know that.
Was he in Bushwick with us?
No. He didn't live in the mosque. I was
he never came in. Right. He never came in. Okay, I know. I've never seen him.
And he and I lived in the same building.
Okay. Wow. Somebody mentioned Ethiopia in the chat, and now I know you've done a documentary on Nubia and all that. And I know Dr. Ben used to say Ethiopia was the mother of all of this, of that whole thing. Right. Now, did you touch on that in the documentary? I want you to say it, and I want people to know.
No. Well, there's a mention of it. Right. When we talk in essence of the in reference, to the Blue Nile, it's spoken of. Because really, the reality is that is the genesis, if you will, for the richness of the Nile in terms of not only the economy but also the ecology.
Yes.
And the reason why I say that, because the rich silt doesn't come from the White Nile, which goes down into Uganda. The rich silt that built the civilization in terms of its economy and also able to feed the people came from or through the Blue Nile from Ethiopia.
Wow.
Okay. So what happens is not only was the inundation significant, but what the inundation left behind. The inundation left behind nutrients that made the soil fertile. And from that, they were able to reap crops, sometimes several crops a year, based on that rich silk that came from Ethiopia.
Okay.
So just tapping on what Dr. Ben said,
yes,
you know, when you think in terms of that, from economics, we can play this economic game all night long, because it all ties back in some ways to economics. Right. And when I realized that, I was like, God damn, yeah, you know, Rock, we were onto something, because it all ties back to economics. No matter which way you look at it, at some point it's going to connect you back to economics. Yeah,
and people got to realize that even the material that we're using with computers and phones is economics again. It's all economic.
And see, again, when you think economics, you can't think in terms of money. You can't think in terms of dollars and cents, because it's a part of economics. That's not what economics is in its totality. You got to think in terms of your ecology. You got to think in terms of your relationships with people. Because when you're talking about relationships with people, you're talking about a give and take, talk about an exchange. And that's what economics is. Economics is, hey, I'm going to give you that for this. Whether it's money or banknote, which took the place of other things. You know, initially we were just, okay, I want that. You have fish, I have bread. I want fish tonight, you want bread tonight. Here, we can make an even exchange. That's economics. So we, in the film, just to give people a little kind of sneak peek, we touched on something called spiritual economics. We get into the understanding of just your prayers, your supplications, and your offerings that you do on maybe a daily basis. And when you make these offerings, we're looking for something in return. And that is economics. Right. So there is not much I can think of that doesn't somehow tie into economics. And again, when we say in economics, we mean something that is dealing with reciprocity, not something that's dealing with money. Something that's dealing with reciprocity, some form of reciprocity, some form of give and take, some form of an exchange. When you go back to ancient Kemet, you look on the walls and you see the priest or the Nasut Biti or the pharaohs making an offering. There's always something coming back. You know what I'm saying? There's always something in return, you know, coming back. So it's like, yo, we can't get away from it. Even we deal with the divine. We're dealing with the divine in an economic format.
That's right. That's right. Reciprocity. You absolutely right.
Yes, absolutely. Everything you do, when you go to work, your relationships, your husband, your wife, your girlfriends, anybody you deal with in your life, everything is dealing with a form of economics.
That's
you know, people. That's why people get mad. That's why they break up, because they feel like they're getting cheated.
Exactly.
You know, I'm doing more than you're doing. We don't have an even exchange. This even exchange is making me upset and angry. I'm putting out more than I'm getting back.
Family is business. Family is business.
And then they go Splitsville.
Yes.
Because it's economics. So we look at our relationships that way and look at an even exchange of give and take, then maybe perhaps we can save some of those too.
You know, one more question, because I'm not going to keep you long, because our people have short memory span and short attention span. So I want to make sure, you know, I understand that you take people to Kemet like every year. Are you planning on going to Kemet 2020, 2021? I mean, 2020.
You got to ask COVID.
I don't know that guy.
you got to ask COVID that question. So we actually had a trip planned for this September. Actually, the end of this September, really more so October, where it was a dynamic trip. It was innovative for me in terms of trips and design. Every time I try to do something different, you know, and I try to pull in different demographics in terms of our people, but people with different type of mindsets.
Right.
And so we leased a ship to ourselves, an entire cruise.
Wow.
And on that ship, what we had was different activities that were exclusive to what we were. I had a couple of DJs coming in to play the music, but we had something like, you know, activities like sip and chat. I'm sorry, sip and paint. Excuse me, sip and paint. But they were sipping and painting on papyrus. We had a couple of ancient Kemetic costume parties. We were going to do Kemetic yoga.
Wow.
On the Nile, on the sunrise.
Wow.
Talent shows, different things like that as we sell, but we were going to set up our own itinerary. So I still want to do this, and this is something that will happen at some point.
Right.
I would like to do it in 2021 because this year was already shot. We already moved the trip to February. I gotta make a decision soon because if we're gonna put the trip in February, probably around sometime into the summer, we got to decide if we're going to try to promote it or not.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of it depends on what the disease is doing, and not only that, people's comfortability with being on airplanes. Because a lot of people are just not comfortable being on airplanes right now because that's where they feel the disease is being transmitted.
Right.
So, and the other thing too, Americans are kind of locked out from the rest of the world right now. So there's just so much
they shut down
going on in terms of what we can do with travel. So right now everything is it's on a standstill and it's going to be shelved until there's some changes made.
All right. Well, look. Hey. Well, it's all about that ain't nothing stopping this documentary coming out. Nothing stopping this film coming out, and it's worldwide. www.hapifilm.com. July the 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern. World premiere of this film is. I'm telling y'all, family, you don't want to miss. You got Dr. Jeffries, you got Dr. Ashby, you got Dr. Boyce Watkins, you got Dr. Malvo, you got brother Dr. Wade Nobles, you got Raketi Amen, you got of course Baba Heru, you got Dr. Rosalind Jeffrey, Professor James Small, Dr. Falu. Oh my God, you got Free Master Gano Grills, you got Dr. Patricia Newton, you got Infandici, Jehutamaz, you got Brother Jabari Asazi, you got Charles Barron, you got Asar Imhotep, you got Lillian White, you got Lord Jamal, you got Mandy Bowman, you got Chester Higgins, you got my brother Abdul Malik, you got Chief Oya in the building, you got you got Kenneth Kelly, you got a whole bunch of people. You got a whole party in this cast.
I just want to mention something about Lillian White because she's the narrator of the film. Although she does
the great Lillian White, the narrator.
Right. She makes a cameo. But for those who are not familiar with the name, we were blessed again to have the sister be a part of this project. We were filming the Chief and Professor Smalls on Far Rockaway on the beach. We did we went out there and we filmed them. It was a great. But in that process, I'm looking at the system like kind of gave Watusi what he said to you, like, where do I know you from? And I'm looking at her, like, she looks so familiar to me. And come to find out, I said, damn, I know where I know you from. She's Fat Annie from The Get Down. From those who watch the Netflix series The Get Down, Lillian White is the infamous gangster, or the individual. Well, Lillian White played Annie, who was the infamous gangster and Fat Annie in The Get Down.
Yeah,
and she did a great job in terms of delivering the narration for the film, and we thank her tremendously.
And this is man, brother. I want to thank you very much for just any parting questions you want to give before we close this off. Of course, we're talking about the premiere. Any parting questions? Go ahead. Any parting statements? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, well, I just want to say thank you to you, King Simon. I appreciate you, and we love you for what you've done and what you've been a part of, and again, Dua. We're so happy to be a part of this.
Yes, sir.
And we're all along for this ride. Definitely want to give shout outs to everyone. Give shout outs to my brother Sid Heru, who did a marvelous job. He and I worked together tirelessly, many late nights. Just running all around the world, putting this film together.
Him and his wife are doing a great job.
Him and his wife did a tremendous job. Definitely give a tremendous shout out to them. Anyone, definitely, if you got a project you're looking to put together, give that brother a call. Toji Films. Look at the website and check him out, and you won't be disappointed.
And big up to Felicia and the whole crew.
Absolutely. And I like to call her the capstone.
She's
I like to call her capstone. When thinking in terms of just pyramid building or erecting a Tekhen, the capstone was that electron piece, the gold and the silver that helped created that prism of light that was the culmination of why the pyramids were constructed. So when she came onto the project, she helped us culminate it. So I like to call her capstone. So that is definitely, there's so many others. Like I said, there were so many people that came along for the ride. When people don't even realize Shaka Amos was a huge supporter of HAPI years ago. You know what I mean? People don't even understand that. Shabazz and other people, so many people, man. Some people that just came in and just showed love, whether it was to GoFundMe or show love in the streets or just show love, just do a share or post. There was some people that just was like, yo, I just want to just be one of the biggest supporters online and share everything we posted. They just shared it a million times. You know what I mean? And those people, those are the real happy people.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
without those people, we wouldn't be able to get where we are. So,
Yes.
so
Yes.
special
Yes.
shout out to them. And I don't know all their names. I'm
Right.
sorry I don't mention you by name, but you know, definitely you are not forgotten.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, yeah, brother. Well, thank you once again. Thank you. I want to thank you and your family for doing. I want to give you a well-deserved round of applause, my brother, for just being who you are, doing what you do. I pay all these people that gives applause, so it's all right. I pay them. Look, I'm a producer also, so I gotta make sure I take care of the people that work with me. uh, and with, of course, wish your family and your beautiful queen and your empress, you know, be safe out there, brother, and be safe in what you're doing, how you're doing. I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of the team. My street team is still calling me if I'm going to do any more flyers. They all calling me like, oh, I don't do flyers right now.
Right,
It's hard, you know,
right,
but
right.
you know,
And,
but
and that was some of the things, you know, even going back 3 years ago, and I know we're about to close out, but I
yeah.
just want to share this with the family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had our earlier, because initially it was really hard. I would say hard. We had to be, again, innovative in producing this film, being an independent film and on the level we wanted to do it on. So we had to do um, screenings
Yes.
of the film back in 2017 to one, introduce the film to the world, to the family, and to try to raise capital to further the production. So we were very successful in that process, and we did 3 of them. We did 2 in New York, one in January 2017, one in February, one that was in Harlem. February was in Queens, and then we
Yeah.
did one in October in Sacramento, California. But
Mm-hmm.
through those processes, one of the things I remember is working with you
Yes,
and
sir.
doing the flyers together, doing the
Yes, sir.
double-sided flyers with your events.
Yeah.
And then
Yes,
King
sir.
Simon and I, we would have HAPI one side and, you know, one
Yes,
of your
sir.
events on the other side. And that's how we
Yeah.
would get the street teams together and just getting the word out.
Yeah,
And
got
again,
to.
resources, relationships, economics, working together. And that's how this
Yeah.
thing was built.
Yes, sir. Once again, man, thank you very much, man. And you be and like I said, we're gonna talk, man. We got more to talk about. There's more
Yes,
stuff to
yes,
produce,
yes.
you
Yes,
know.
and after the 18th, that's when the real conversation starts.
Yeah, that's a real conversation, my
That's when the
brother.
real conversation starts, because then people have seen it and people really, really want to talk about it, and we can get going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, beloved. You be safe out there, my man. Thank you so
All right,
much,
thank
brother.
you. All right,
All right,
thank you.
what's
Peace.
up? What's up?
What's
Peace.
up?
That's right. That's our brother Taaqiy. Yeah, man. Love our brother, man. Remember, it's all about the world premiere, July the 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. World premiere, HAPI Films. I'm telling you, family, you don't want to miss it. I've seen the screening. I've seen the screening online. You want to have access, have a little party, have a Zoom party and do it. Whatever. If you can't be all together, have a Zoom party and share screen and do it. Whatever you got to do to have your family in the midst of this and watching this great historical what's that word? Monumental event that's going to take place, and the premiere that's going to take place on July the 18th. It's worth your while. It's worth the price. It's worth more than gold. Those that are on Facebook, thank y'all very much for being. Once again, I just want to say something about their mission. I want to read their mission again. He says, our mission on HAPI mission is to show how local initiatives, strong communities, and creativity can start a movement that can ultimately change our energetic, economic, and democratic system. First, we must find new paths leading to common prosperity and resilience. The HAPI film does not claim to have all the answers. However, it showcases people inventing and trying to start the movement. We hope these stories will empower you and drive your passion to affect change in your job, community, and neighborhood, essentially giving purpose and meaning to your actions. So please do not be reactive, but be proactive, especially after you react to this movie and this show that they got to come out. You're going to start being proactive when you realize what it is that our ancestors did, how they manifested things, how they manifested great edifice, how they manifested trade along the Nile and around the world, and all of that stemming from all over Africa, throughout all over the world, all 196,900,000 what it is. Once again, we want to thank our brother Taaqiy. Let me give him another well-deserved round of applause for just being who he is. Once again, want to thank the whole staff, Felicia, Hardin. Want to thank, of course, Brother Seed, Brother Robert Seed Gay. Want to big him up and his beautiful wife from Tahuti Films. Want to thank the whole cast, man. There's a whole cast. They got at least over 10 people, over 10 to 15 people. And it's going to be a very great event. So make sure you check that out. It is now 5 minutes after the hour. In New York, it's 5 minutes after 10:05 here. Of course, before we get on out of here, I got to promote these businesses. So we can make sure. Remember, this coming Sunday, tomorrow. Hey, I keep it popping. We have a priestess from out of the Kemetic teachings. Priestess Het Heru will be online with me at 9 p.m. tomorrow. That's July the 12th at 9 p.m. And on Monday, we have our sister from HCR, WHCR, that's Harlem Community Radio. She's also a real estate person. She's also an advocate for prison reform and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to get into that and talk about that. We have Keziah Glow will be with us on Monday. On Wednesday, we have Dr. Phil Valentine coming in live and direct on Wednesday. And on Friday, we have Professor James Smalls, who will be with us speaking about the HAPI right before the promotion on July the 18th. And then on July the 19th, we have Professor Zahalia, Women in Martial Arts. She's an extraordinary person who we've seen on videos with Dr. Moses Powell. She was one of the females on the mat with Dr. Moses back in the day, with Professor Anthony, with Professor Bill McLeod. But why it is important for women to learn to defend themselves, whether you're using pens, papers, whether you learn how to use one of these as an improvised weapon. This is an improvised weapon if you know how to use it. If you know how to use it, this is an improvised weapon. I was taught this by Soke Littlejohn, GM Anthony Muhammad, Professor Bill, all the great ones. They taught us how to use, and and Professor Ronald Duncan always taught us about improvise. Anything that you have is a weapon in these hands. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies, we're going to have a beautiful martial artist. She's going to be in here. She's also an African dancer and a contemporary dance artist also from out of California. So Professor Zahalia is going to be here on Sunday, July the 19th. And those who want to get my book early, please, this is dedicated to all those that you may know that's suffering from mental health or mental problems. I don't profess to be a doctor. I do have a disclaimer in the book, but I do know that using numbers as one of the modalities to help understand, to recognize certain sequences and patterns connected to the vibration of numbers can give guidance on how to recognize it before and nip it in the bud, or at least get your family member or yourself to a therapist, because therapy is needed in our community, especially during now. Like I've said, few friends of mine have taken their life in the last couple of years, and due to depression. So this book is is going to be a great book as far as giving information, providing, and I got recommended reading and websites to give you guidance to go to what the necessary. I'll even have the suicide hotline on there, because they are trained to be able to talk people down, to talk people off of depression. And the book is called Numerovation for Mental Stability. That's Numerovation for Mental Stability. Pre-order it right now. The price is $40.40 via www.paypal.me/the Numerovator, as spelled TheNumerovator. Please include your full name and mailing address in the PayPal notes section. So when the books do come in, I will mail them to you and sign them, especially when those books come in. We want to mail and sign them to you and send them to you and make sure it gets to your hands, and so you can read it, study it. It's like a reference book, but it breaks down the numbers. And I don't get all elaborate and crazy. I really get straightforward, straight to the point, and then I give you recommended reading if you want to study deeper into numerology and any other modality. So that book is coming out, and please go and get it if you're willing to help some people in your family. Also, just want to remind you, all those beautiful women that might be suffering from anything, this particular website is a natural gynecologist. Because I care, I made sure I became a affiliate, started an affiliate program with her where you can actually use the coupon code King 2020 and save 10% from all the sales that's going on there if you want to buy the package for the month and all that. But she has helped with fibroid tumors. She has helped with cysts, breast problems, all that. She has definitely helped people. So big up to the whole crew over there at Pedalwise. It's a Black owned and operated business, pedalwise.com. And make sure you put in the coupon code King 2020. Also, she got stuff for men, but she does focus on women. She got a lot of stuff for men, but she does focus on women because she's a natural gynecologist. All right, so enough respect. And she's also an acupuncturist. So if you want information or consultation about acupuncture and all those different things and different parts and meridians of the body, she can help you with that also. And make sure you hit her up on social media. Instagram is Pedalwise. Pedalwise at Instagram. That's her Pedalwise Instagram. Also, once again, Baba Phil Valentine is coming with his big webinar. And of course, it's called Paradigm Shift 2020, Rise of the Metaphysic Messiahs and the Death Throes of the Satanic State. Woohoo! You know Phil. Make sure you go to his website for his next webinar happening on Sunday, July the 19th. Please. I think it starts around 2 or 3 o'clock. But please log on to www.uksnow.org to find the link. That's uksnow.org to find the link. And that's Baba Phil Valentine. Of course, you see my face on there on that flyer. And then when you go to this flyer, you got Brother Reg, Professor Greer, Red Pill and Blue Pill, Bobby Hammond, and all the great ones on there. So we know what it is. All right. That's right. Also, moving right along, let's go to this beautiful sister that has that deals with realty. If you want to buy property or you want to get a consultation done about buying property or how to at least correct your credit so you can buy property, Janelle Lewis can help you out. She's a licensed real estate salesperson, and you can give her a call or text at 347-496-1022. That's 347-866. I'm sorry, I gave my number. That's 347-866-1153. That's 347-866-1153. I'll say it one more time since I gave my number earlier. 347-866-1153. That is her particular number and information. And if you want to do a numerovation session with me, please text me at 347-496-1022, your full name and date of birth. That's 347-496-1022 for the special rate that I have. And remember, the study of numbers is applied mathematics. Learn how to apply your own personal numbers, and they will guide you and help you. But you got to be willing to do the work. I ain't playing with none of y'all. You got to be willing to do the work. This is a working application that I deal with. That's why I call it numerovation. I don't just do readings and all that kind of stuff. This ain't entertainment for me. I'm like, I've got to let you know, this is not entertainment. I've helped thousands of people if they only adhere to the guidance, because numerology and numerovation is like a GPS. You put in the right address, they triangulate what's going on in the area, and either they'll take you down the longer route or the shorter route, but it's totally up to you what route you decide to take your car or your vehicle called the body in while we're on Earth. So that's what numerology, astrology, cardology, cosmophysics, and all this stuff is all about, giving you guidance while you're in this realm to give you better understanding so you can be aware of your health, relationships, all the other bull craps that's going on in your life. Hey, let's be able to navigate, and this has helped me over the years. So, and it is what it is. You know, some of us make mistakes. Some of us have to go through those tests. Some of us have to go through this bad relationship, cheating relationship, whatever it is. We had to go through it, but it's a lesson. And always take things on earth as a lesson and a blessing. We only here for a moment. We transform and go to the next realm and do what we got to do next. But it is what it is. All right. I'm so glad we had this time together. Don't forget to get my book on Amazon and Kindle. That's Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. That's right. Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated, or Numbers Are Simple, Our Children's Health is Important, and no promotion is bad promotion, and all publicity is good publicity. That was my first book that I put out. So I'm happy to have done that and love what I do. And I got that new book, like I said, coming out. And before I leave, I want to say this prayer. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. This was a prayer that started from Dr. Delbert Blair, our late ancestor. And let's say it together. If we could say it all together right now, let's say it all together. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. This was a prayer that our beloved Dr. Blair used to share with his metacenter.com. And if you want to get any products from his website, please go to the metacenter, the number 2.com. You can get orgone, you can get diodes, you can get his books. Dr. Blair has books, but this was the prayer that and if you want to take a picture of it right now, you can do a snapshot on your phone. Keep that prayer, say that prayer. I mean, this is a prayer that he used for at least 20 years, 20 or 30 years. And it's a good prayer. And I think it's very important that we do pray and meditate and understand why pray and meditate does work. And then we got to put in the work and do what we have to do. So let me get on out of here and let me play the song that I'm turning into a book. I'm turning Black and White Story into a children's book, and I'm turning this One Life to Live into a children's book also, and I'm working on one more. So after I finish this Numerovation for mental stability, I got children's book that I'm going to put out, and then I'm going to work on my autobiography, and then I'm going to do continue writing a few other children's books and keep it moving. Got to keep people going. I got 7 more books to put out before I transition from here. My son said, "Don't write them too fast, Pops." That was so nice of him. Even your children can be so sensitive and nice. I love that. He said, "Don't write them too fast." I understand, son. I am not going to write them too fast, but sometimes we get wary. We get wary. There's no, what they used to say, there's no rest for the weary, no rest for the righteous, and there's no rest for the wicked. So we got to all stay within our weariness or our righteousness. I'm not trying to go towards the wickedness. All right. Yo, I'm out of here. Regardless of land, label, or language, there's but one God or one creator, or one Allah, or one whatever you want to call him or her or it. There's but one energy force that is an intelligent force. And like Marcus Mosiah Garvey say, up you mighty nation, you could accomplish what you will. Just stay focused, stay powerful, stay focused, and stay away from trouble and stay healthy during these times. I'm out of here. I love you. I respect you. And I'm going to leave you with this song called One Life to Live by King Simon, written in 1990. Peace.
We only have one life to live. We only have one life to live. We only have one life to live. And we gotta live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes. Cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway. We only have one life to live, and we gotta live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes. You won't make it, no matter what they say. We should always try to live a positive life anyway. We all know time is running out every day. The people they know that life is not a game that we play. If you're not sure about this test, I want the whole world to confess that we all should try to live our life the best way that we can. So I know we only have one life to live, and we gotta live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You You should always try to live a positive life anyway. We only have one life to live.